Welcome to the CAPE Information Technology IA walkthrough done by me, Mr. Charles. This video in somehow, some way is going to help you with your journey through your CAPE Information Technology IA, either Unit 1 or Unit 2. Just to let you know, the sources of all the information that are inside this video were sourced from 1, the official syllabus, which you will see a link in the description for, 2, the examiner's reports for the old syllabus, because that has a treasure trove of information about how they mark the IAs, and 3, 10 plus years of experience teaching CAPE Information Technology and submitting IAs every single year. So, first of all, enjoy. I hope the information helps you. And second of all, I am not your teacher. This is a guide. And because it's a guide, I will give some best practices that I would have seen in the different sources and things that I would have done myself. But if your teacher requires you to do something different, please listen to your teacher, but also read the syllabus and read the examiner's reports. And I hope that you do well in your CAPE ITIA. Alright, so we're back again. Today, this video, going into the evaluation of possible solutions. And this part of the syllabus is one of the trickier ones in terms of how you write it up. So we've gone through the analysis part of the syllabus and the identification of possible solutions. So we're now into the heavy typing and formatting and putting in the things that are necessary part of the syllabus. And here is where you have to kind of pay attention to a lot of finer details about things that they ask for, right? So the evaluation of possible solutions, your goal is to sort of, let's not put this in red. Just now, let me put it in red. Right. Your real goal of the evaluation of possible solutions is to compare each solution based on a particular set of criteria. And the comparison should lead to a logical conclusion of which solution is best for best suited to solve the problem, right? So all we've done so far is we saw the problem, we collected a lot of information about it. After we collected all of the information, what did we do? We are now going to try to come up with a solution. When we come up with a solution, we're going to now really break it down into what the solution entails. When you break it down into what the solution entails, you're going to now see how they match up with the 2 possible solutions that you chose. If you chose 3 possible solutions, that's okay, that's no problem. I know I said in the last video that I would give you all 3 possible solutions, but I decided to put it at 2 because I think 2 is enough. 3 is just to make sure. So with my students, I probably will make them do 3, but I didn't want you all to think that you have to do 3. So I left it at 2, right? If you do 3, that's okay. Because for some reason I think CXA will only check the 2, which is what I heard from a reputable source, but I'm not too sure. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to come up with some sort of comparison that will lead to a logical conclusion. Now, in order to do that, there are some guidelines that I've pulled out from the examiner's report and stuff that I've also corroborated with some teachers. And also, I would have done it a particular way, and the teachers would have said, yes, that sounds like how it's supposed to go. So usually, what they want is they want something like this. So watch this, right? This is from the 2012 examiner's report. Students can utilize a feasibility study to perform the evaluation. The feasibility study studies economic, social, political, technical, operation, and schedule feasibility. These sections cover all the necessary elements mentioned before. Advantages and disadvantages can be added to enhance the evaluation. Refer to something called New Perspective in Computer Concepts by Parson and Ocha to find, analysis, a sample of an evaluation table. Now, at the end of this, there's supposed to be some sort of evaluation table that you're going to use to choose the solution. So that's our goal. But in order to get to that point, here's the other thing that I saw, which is from the 2015 examiner's report. This component requires that students objectively evaluate 2 or more identified solutions. In evaluation of a solution, it is expected that students will pay attention to issues that may arise from the implementation of the solution. So keep in mind, what we're trying to do is we're trying to think about when this solution is put in place, what are the things that you're going to have to pay attention to, or what are the things that are going to exist that we need to think about in advance. That's what we're doing this for, in advance, right? So the following were observed among students who scored poorly on this section. Failure to describe all the elements that may be associated with a particular solution, besides hardware and software elements. So most people think because it's an ITIA, all you have to do is state the hardware that you have to use and the software that you have to use. But no, that's not what they're looking for. They are looking for hardware, software, and these things here, which resulted in the exclusion of elements such as cost, personnel, training, reliability, time for development and implementation, environmental effects, and security and maintenance. So you have to think along the lines of, okay, my solution uses this hardware, uses this software, but people are going to be using it. When people are going to be using it as an information system, you have so many other things that come into play to make sure a system works properly. Because you can't just put hardware and software and say, yeah, good, that'll work. You have to make sure that people are trained to use it, that they understand the issues, that the cost benefit is going to be seen to them and they could track that. All those other things you got to check for. And that's what they're trying to say in the examiner's report. So here's another one, same part from the 2015. Students are expected to evaluate all identified solutions, all the necessary elements as they relate to the implementation on the economic, social, political, technical, operational, and schedule feasibility for the organization should be examined, and they should elaborate on it a little bit with weights assigned to the end. So in the end, we want to assign the weights to it. Now, how do we assign the weights? Well, boy, they gave a book that you should look for, which is New Perspective in Computer Concepts by Parson and Oja. So I tracked down the book and I found the chapter. So this is what the chapter looks like. The chapter gives you a breakdown on how to do the evaluation and selection, and how does someone choose the best solution. So basically they have this table. This table has a particular set of weights. You put the weights next to each other, and then based on the weights you determine which one you choose. So I'm going to try to simulate that table to help you all with the evaluation of possible solutions. So this here is going to count for 2 marks or 3 marks. So here's what we want to do. In the evaluation of possible solutions, you must consider the following. You must consider hardware tools, software tools, network and communication, costs, user issues, and other issues. You see these last 2 here where it have user issues and other issues? There are so many things that it could be, but it depends on the project that you're doing. Depending on the project that you're doing, you will have to kind of be like, okay, what are the user issues my situation is facing? Not the generic things that people will face, which is like training. Everybody has to do training, but then you have to think about who are the people, like if it's a school, if it's a shop, are the people computer literate, all those different things. And some of the questions that you would have asked in your questionnaire will help you kind of see some of the issues that will come up because you ask the questions there. That is why I ask a kind of wide range of questions to make sure you could get a wide view of it in the questionnaire. And then other issues. So you can see that you have to cater for these things. So let's see how I'm going to do it. In order for me to do this, I usually do it in a table, and this table makes things a little easier to compare. Plus it also helps with your word limit, because apparently tables don't count. Even though you could flood the table with a whole set of words, and I don't know, they won't tell you anything is wrong. But yeah, long story short, let's go. Alright, so let's go factor. That's the first thing. Then you put solution 1. If the solution has a name, you put the name of the solution, right? But in my case, I put in solution 1 and solution 2, right? No problem. So the factor is going to be what I am going to be comparing them on, and I'm putting the information in here. So my first factor will be hardware, tools needed, hardware needed, right? So I'm going to put hardware, and then my next factor is going to be software. Now I'm not going to fill out the whole table, but that's going to give you a little guide on how you can do the actual comparison, because remember, we are evaluating, so you have to get information and you have to figure out things from a higher level, right? So then we want to go to network and communication, and then we will put in cost, and then we're going to put in user issues. Now this is where I'm going to put user issues in. Now user issues will be pertaining to the solution that I have put forward, the solutions I've put forward. So some of the solutions I've put forward, if we go back up to my identification of possible solutions, you'll see one of them is using a website that the people have to update. The other one is using off-the-shelf software where they have to update a PowerPoint presentation that will be presented on a TV screen. So my user issues will be along the lines of, can they actually update a website? Are they trained enough? Are they computer literate? All those different things, right? So I'm going to put user issues, and then I'm going to put what's the last one? Other issues. Now when you have other issues, it would make sense you put other issues in the table. So you probably want to put like training. In my case, do they need to get training? Do they need to have some sort of updates and maintenance? Do we need to put any sort of security in place? Now if you're doing a database, you'll most likely have to put some sort of security in place. But for me, if I'm going to do a website, I want to be able to put some sort of security on the website so that when they try to log in, there'll be like a username and password that will stop people from logging in or some kind of thing like that, right? So we want to put some sort of security in place. That is something that pertains to my particular problem in this particular sample IA that I'm doing. Whether it's a website or a database, there needs to be some sort of security in this case, right? And what else? Are there any environmental issues that will happen because of this? No. Are there any legal issues? No. If you're doing a database, you might have some legal issues because you're storing people's data, that kind of thing. So you have to kind of put legal issues inside. But in this case, I don't have anything else besides that. Besides that, right? So if I'm going to use these things as my comparative, what I'm going to use to compare how these solutions are going to be implemented, now I have to fill in the actual evaluation. So for solution 1, the hardware needed will be most likely a laptop computer with 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 256 GB SSD solid state drive with an i7 i5 Intel i5 processor, right? Or /AMD Ryzen 5. Something like that. So I'm showing that I know about hardware, I know about specs, and I know what specs are going to be necessary for this web developer to for the development of the website to be done or to be used, right? For them to be able to go and modify the website. This is not talking about developing the website, right? So solution 2, because it's PowerPoint and they're just using a regular computer, it has be like, okay, a laptop computer with 4 gigabytes of RAM, a 128 hard drive, and an Intel i3, right? So you realize solution 2 is a little less techy, so therefore I don't have to use as much a much powerful laptop inside of it. Intel i3 processor or Ryzen 3 processor. So therefore I've put some hardware in there. Now, do I need other hardware for solution 2? Yes, I need a HDMI cable. I need a television. Yeah, I need a television to put on the wall, because in my solution I believe that said that they would put the HDMI cable on the TV, and it'd have to be a 55 plus inch screen, so I'll put a 55 inch TV, 55 inch television. And are there any other pieces of hardware that I need to do? No. Right, so for the solution one, all I need them is to have a laptop, and they need to have internet access. So if they need to have internet access, I can put out a network and communication. So now we're going to software now. With software, they have to be able to log into the browser, and log into a browser and log into the website on the inside. So they'll need a web browser, a modern web browser. For solution 2, the software that they need will be MS PowerPoint / or Google Slides. They will probably need a picture viewer / editor to be able to edit the pictures, or when they put it up for the menu. What else do we need for software for the computer if they have to edit? Because if we build in a website, we build in the website and we just create in the back end, and they will be able to use the front end. So on the back end, we'll probably need to have like JavaScript. No, what's called this thing? Node.js or npm. Node package manager. When you get into it, you probably understand a bit about JavaScript. So basically, you want to be able to have the JavaScript running in the background so the website could work properly. You probably need to have a CMS, content management system. Example, WordPress. Maybe something along those lines. Or you could just be building it from scratch. But these are things that you have to kind of consider if you have to implement the solution. So they'll need PowerPoint, they'll need a picture viewer editor. Let me check the solution again. What else? Networking, Alright, so they don't have anything else to really worry about here. So that's our hardware and software. What I've done is I've shown that I understand hardware and software, which is the core of IT, information technology. If you could understand the hardware and software, you're in a good place, and you should be okay to move forward with the evaluation. But IT is not just an IT information system. It's not just about hardware, software. It's about hardware, software, users, networking, and all those different things that come into play. So what we're trying to do is get that in our minds. So for network and communication, you need to have broadband internet. So you have the broadband internet access. You have a Wi-Fi enabled router to show that okay, they could get to the Wi-Fi internet or whatnot. And you may want to, yeah, that's all. Network and communication for this one, they didn't really have any networking or communication, because remember, the computers are standalone, so you're probably not applicable. You don't need to have any on that, unless you're saying if Google Slides use broadband access is needed. Alright, so you could put some kind of things like that inside to say, because as I remember with one of the examiner's reports, the examiner report for 2015, let me see if I can go back to that picture. It said that 2012, right? No, right here. So you want to just kind of state things kind of clearly, and you want to put out what the issues are going to be. Yeah, because we're trying to be as objective as possible, so it had to be sort of cut and dry. You don't want to write any long thesis inside here, because your thesis coming just now. So for cost, this is where you're going to have to go and actually search on Amazon to get a link for a particular laptop. So in this case, I'm going to put in a Lenovo IdeaPad, and I will put in the Lenovo IdeaPad 3i or some kind of thing like that. Yeah, Lenovo IdeaPad 3, and I'll put any cost as 4,500 TT, right? TT 4,500. And then I will put in the cost for the web hosting. Web hosting will cost, I don't know, TT 4,500 or whatever, right? Yeah, web hosting will cost TT $200 a year. Then we will put in the broadband, Digicel broadband or something like that. Digicel broadband would be TT, I don't know, 1,200. No, 1,200 would be like 2,400 a year. YR, right? And what you want to do is you want to list out all of the things that will cost money in order for the solution to work. Every single thing you have to show how it will cost money. And this here, you're going to have references for when you put it in your appendix. In your appendix, when you want to say that, okay, I got this information, all these costs, I have to get that information from somewhere. You want to put references to the website, because the references to the website will show that you researched what your solution needs in order to work, and that is actually evaluation. So for cost here, I'll put another Lenovo IdeaPad, whatever. So they put on 3, but this one is a little cheaper, so you want to show that you researched it. This one costing 3,000 TT, and you don't have to pay for any web hosting here, but you have to pay for Microsoft Office because you're using PowerPoint, or if you're using Google Docs, Microsoft Office would cost how much it costs, or if you're using the free version Google Docs, it would incur, you would have to use the internet to get it done. You have to decide how you're going to put it in, if you want to put it in. Now we're going to go into user issues. You're probably putting that users' computer literacy may not be as high to handle this sort of technical solution. You could say that the users may be able to handle changing slides on a presentation. That will now show that, okay, you understand how one solution affects the users and how the other solution affects the users. And of course, you could go a lot more inside here with user issues when you think about your solution. Remember, from your analysis, you will have gotten information about the users, and your solution could be many different things, right? Then there's training. Training would be cost for training would take longer because of the technical aspects of updating a website. Some users can be trained as power users. Something so. This one here, users may be able to be trained in a few days because your other solution is technically easier, right? Technically, right? Just a tad, right? Then you have updates and maintenance. Websites will need to be updated and regularly checked for bugs, something like that. And users, right. Of course, website updates and stuff, you're going to have to put those costs inside here. So you're going to have to be like web development, You gotta put a course for that. You gotta put a course for updates and security. You gotta put a course for that too. All those different things you want to put the course in for, and you have to actually go and research it, get the information from a website or a book or something, and that information that you put inside there, you're going to have to put it in the bibliography. Alright, so you may want to put not footnotes or endnotes, but well, you don't need to put footnotes and endnotes because it will be in the bibliography and be there already, right? Then we have security. The website needs to have a login to ensure that no one can change things without consent. Something like that. Those words kind of rough, but something like that. Security, the laptop should have a password so people can log in. Updates and maintenance for the laptop, kind of like regular OS updates, OS and security updates needed, right? So this is what your evaluation is going to look like. Now your stuff is going to be a lot bigger than this, a lot more. I just ran through it in probably about 10 minutes. But what my intention is that it would spark your mind into thinking, okay, I need to put in some things here, but I need to know what my solution entails. I need to know why I need to do it. I need to know what things have to be put in place in order for the solution to work, and therefore I need to list out all of them, right? Now once you finish this table, you'll have a proper evaluation, and now you could do something called the DSS, which is the evaluation of the actual solution based on some weights, based on some sort of analysis of how it's going to be impacted, how it's going to impact the people. So this is where you're going to try to do this little scorecard kind of thing, right? Now the scorecard, according to the recommended book that they said to use, they said that you should do the scorecard based on criteria and weight, and see how you could weight it out based on what your solutions are intending to do. So what I've seen people do, and what I've heard people do, and what I've done myself is create something like this. So you have something called criterion. And then you have solution 1, and then you have solution 2. From here, you have to figure out what are the things that are most important for this solution to work. Now this is where some of your analysis can come back into your application here. You want to try to think about, okay, what is most important for this to work? You want to make sure that people actually see the information or see the menu. So we want to, because it's an informational problem, the criteria that you're going to use to test it is, does the information actually get out? So you want to say access to info. Oh wait, I forget to put in I think I had to put in a column called weight. Right. So you put in the criterion, the weight, and then how much each one of them will get. So the access to information, that's critical. So critical to this solution would be user access to information. If they can't get the information about the cafeteria, then it ain't making any sense. It ain't making any sense to anybody, and we want to make sense to everybody that, hey, the user access to the information, out of 100, this should be weighted something like 20. It's very important that the people get access to the information. Then we come up with another one. So let's say we use updatability of information, meaning how easy it is to update the information. Granted that you may have to train people, but you may be able to create a way that they'll be able to put the updates easily by just logging in and changing things. Your solution will be, okay, updatability is important because the people need to update it, but the user access to the information is not less important than that. So you want to say updatability information out of 100 will be like 15, right? So 15, because we're trying to get the weights in such a way where they will be all added up to out of 100, and then you'll get a choice, right? So our next one would be updatability information. Let's see if I can get some ideas from some others that I did. We have security. Security is important. Security is very important. Is it as important as updatability of information and access to information? Yes, because if you don't secure it properly, people will be able to log in and change things, and the menu could be hacked or something like that. But it's not as important as the information must be accessible, because if you have the ability to update the information and you have no security, at least the information is there, so therefore you can clearly see it's a little higher, right? So for security, we'll put that at 10. So right now we are 20, 30, 35. We are at 45. So we need to find, things that will be able to fill out the other 100 or change these numbers to suit. So think about cost. How important is the cost? If you're dealing with a school, schools tend to have no money. If you're dealing with a shop that is not very well known, that they don't have any big budget or some kind of thing like that, you have to take in consideration, okay, these people are going to be concerned about cost a lot. If they're concerned about cost a lot, then it might be important to weigh that as 15. Cost is very important in this particular solution because I'm dealing with a cafeteria in a school that most likely doesn't make any big set of profit. And they may want to consider, wow, this solution going to cost me a lot of money, but will they really feel it's going to make my life easier if people come through here faster? Those sort of things. So cost is a factor. And then we're going to go into, let's say, update maintenance costs. So the maintenance cost could be 10. What do you have to maintain a lot for like with the website? You have $2 to maintenance. With the other solution, you probably don't have to do as much maintenance, but things like that. And let's try is an informational problem. So we could put clarity of information. Clarity of information will be important, meaning that the way we present it should be easy for them to understand. Clarity of information should be a little higher because the way that we present the information should be useful to the people. So if you present the information by our website, they will be able to see it at any point in time. If they have to go to the screen to see it, it'll be kind of hard. So let's see if I could juggle these numbers to get to 50, right? So 25 for user access information because that's really important. 25, 35, 40, 50, 60, 65, 75, and 15. I'm missing 10. So let me see if I could juggle 10 to be, let's put maintenance cost, clarity of information, I'll put that as 20. And then let me put in this case user adoption, staff adoption. Yeah, I'm gonna put staff adoption. Let's put that as 5. Right, so technically I think I get 50 there, 25, 25, 50, 15, 10, 15. Yeah, so 20. Wow, it's all out of 100, right? So now I'm going to put in total, and the total is out of 100. Now, based on the evaluation that I would have done on this table here, I want to now see, okay, how do these things stack up based on the evaluation, but also keeping in mind I've evaluated all of the things that I need to get done and all of the things that will most likely pop up and show that I am considering them in my thought process. So each one of these now I'm going to justify at the bottom and say, okay, this is why I put this in. This is why I put that in. So I'm going to say user access to information is important. This was chosen to be 25 because it is the core of the problem. If the users do not get to see the information, the menu in advance, there would always be the problem of the line. Now, what this does is it shows the examiner, hey, I know why I put this there and I know why I rated it at 25. The reason I put it there and I rated it at 25 is because I think that according to all the analysis I have done, this is what's going to happen. And what you want to do is you want to repeat that for everything else. So I'll do one more for you, which will be like staff adoption. This was weighted as 5 because the staff adoption of the system can be an issue, but training can also take place to assist the staff in using the system over time. Now you have to go and find all of these that you have in the table here and give some sensible breakdown of why you choose it. That now will show that, okay, your evaluation table is going to make sense. Alright, so I did it in 2 tables. Sometimes people do this first part here in paragraph form. More power to you. Good, that's okay. But sometimes people do it like this. So let's go, criteria. So now I'm going to weigh solution 1 and solution 2, and we're going to basically choose a winner in the end, right? So we're going to choose user access to information. For solution 1, it's going to be a website. Because it's a website, they're going to be able to access it on their phone, they're going to be accessing it on their computer, they can see things way in advance, all those different things. So I'm saying the user access to information will be 25 because it's a website. They could log on whenever they need to, whether it be 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, wherever it is. Second solution is the menu appearing on a screen, on a TV. It does solve the problem because they're now writing on the chalkboard and you want people may not be able to see it and understand it, and now they will have images and they'll have pictures, so the information will be there, but the access it still has to be that they have to see it on the day at the actual cafeteria. So you'll put the possible solution for this as probably about 15 because, I mean, they have access to the information, it's in a better format, but it's still, there's still a space issue that you have to deal with. So you want to make sure that, okay, 15 will be a good number to put there. Now you don't have to round off every number, so you could be like, okay, let me just be wild with it and put 16 to show that, okay, I could choose a number that's not rounded off to 5. Updatability of information. The updatability of information on the website is a lot better than the slideshow because you can update the website from any location. If you're using the slideshow, that means you could only update at that particular computer. So updatability information here will definitely be 15 for the website. And then for the slideshow one, you probably want to give like 9 because now you're using a computer. Before they used to use a chalkboard to write on, so the updatability was hard because somebody had to take the time to write that. But you could put it on a flash drive, you could come and plug it in and just change the slides or something like that or whatnot. So the updatability is there, but it's not all that good. Security of the website, we're going to put in a password or whatnot. So we'll say it's a 9 because no website is fully secure. Security of the computer is good because we're going to put a password on the computer. But remember, somebody could take the computer and run it. If they take the computer and run it for the website solution, you can still update it from another computer. You just have to log in. So the security of the computer, we'll put as a 7, right? Now, look at this. Because we are weighting course and we are saying how good everything is, all of these numbers here are good numbers. So the higher you go, the better you are at it. But when it comes to cost, you have to do an inverse kind of rating where, okay, if something costs a lot of money, that means the rating for cost or the weighting for cost they will get will be low. So solution 1 has a lot more overhead costs because you have to do website hosting, you have to do a CMS, you have to pay a web developer, you have to do all these different things. So their costing would probably be like a 7 or a 6 out of 15, if so much, because you have to put out a lot of money for this solution. So clearly solution 2 will be a better cost-effective one because all you have to do is buy a laptop and a TV. And those are one-time costs. Whereas the website going to have recurring costs. So clearly solution 2 will have a better weighting because it's better in terms of cost, meaning it's a lower cost. Lower cost means you get a higher weighting, right? Maintenance costs. So I'll change this one to implementation costs, right? This one, implementation costs, right? So implementation costs will be a 7, meaning it's bad for solution 1 but good for solution 2. Maintenance costs, of course, for solution 1, it will definitely be a lot more. So maintenance costs, we not really consider it to be a big issue because they will be making money over time to do it. So we say maintenance cost is 5 here, meaning that it costs plenty money, so it's not that good. But solution 2 costs less money because all you have to do is maintain the actual laptop, and you're probably not going to spend any money to maintain anything on your laptop unless you have, updates to the software or some kind of thing like that. So maintenance cost here is like a 9. You may have to ever so often check the laptop by a technician and stuff like that. Clarity of information. The clarity of information, it could be very, very, very high on a website because a website is not just static images or storage. The website actually has things that you could interact with at times. So the clarity of information on the website could go really high, and if we design the website properly, we could probably be looking at something like 18. In solution 2, the clarity of information is static images going on a slideshow. So if the slideshow is static images going back and forth, then your clarity of information will never be as high as a website, but it could still be somewhere up there. So we put like something like 14. And then staff adoption. How hard it is for the staff to adopt updating a website. Yeah, it'll be kind of tough for solution 1, so we'll give it a 2 because the staff may not adopt it as easily. But solution 2, they might be like a 4 because all you have to do is update slides. So let's do some maths right now because my maths is not going to be mathsing very well. So we're going to go 25. Hold on. Right, so there you go here. 25 plus 15 plus 9 plus 7 plus 5 plus 18 plus 2 should give me 81. Alright, so this one got a score of 81 out of 100. Alright, so let's go to the next one now, which would be 16 plus 9 plus 7 plus 14 plus 9 plus 14 plus 4. I got 73. So 73 would be what I have here, and I think that's a good outcome when it comes to weighing the solutions, because what you don't want the solutions to be way far apart. You want to see that, hey, I weighted this thing properly where it is a viable solution to choose another one, and the weights are kind of close, meaning that there is actually a choice that has to take place, and that choice is cool. That choice is good, because we want to make sure that we good over here. We good over here. We know what's going to happen. So now, what you're going to do is you're going to have this part here, which is the criteria that you use. You could put it before the table, actually. Yes, and I'll put it before the table, which is here, right? And I'll name this part evaluation table or something. So evaluation table. I'll put this as a heading 2. Heading 2. So in my evaluation of possible solutions, you'll see that there's an evaluation table, And this first one here, I will call it the comparison table. So that way, you know, you lay out a document enough so that when people have to correct it, when we go and check back our table of contents, you'll realize that it has a nice little layout. So we have the comparison table and we have the evaluation table. So now I have this information here. I have the evaluation table. The evaluation shows the weights. And there are other ways that you could do the weight. You could weight it by yes and no, good and bad, or on a scale of 1 to 10 or something like that. But I just go in with the recommended one that they use, what that I found in the book, and I showed you all the screenshots of it in the book. That's the one I go in with. And this here is just a kind of breakdown. Of course, the evaluation table, you're going to list out each one of these things here. And for your comparison table, there's a lot more things that you have to compare. But in this sample, I just kind of comparing and showing you a guide as to how it's going to be done. And once you do that, now you're able to go on to the next two parts, which is identifying a possible solution, which is literally based on this table, choosing the one that has a better score, and then justification of solution, which could be tough depending on what you're doing. So let's go with that, and in the next video we will go through the selection and justification, and then we will go into how to do the documentation, put in your references, your cover page and all that, and then we finish with unit 1. So that's it for this video. I'll see you all in the next video, which will be selection of solution and justification of solution. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it helped you a lot. Remember, there are multiple videos that go through each different part of the IA in detail. So if you want a particular part that you're looking for, you could check the playlist. The playlist link will be in the bottom here. If you use any app, you can check in the app and you will see the playlist for it also to show you all the parts that are necessary. If you're looking for quality information technology and computer science classes at the CAPE level, you can check us out, makeITsimpleTT at 1-868-308-8799. Or you can check us online at makeITsimpleTT.com/register and use all of our free resources. But if you're looking for a class that has recordings and explanations for every single thing that you need to do in the whole syllabus, you can check us out.